get it, I guess.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy 313 J-Mo. It's Free Smoke Saturday. Y'all know exactly what it is. This is DSA Above the Rim. We got a great show for you today. We're going to be talking Obi Toppin, the NBA, and these 22 teams. What are they going on with that? And we got a lot of things going on with the Pistons because they're making some changes. What's good, man? I got my boy Bravo in the building. What up, though?
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the show. And it's going to be an interesting conversation about a lot of things in the past week. Please join and hit the like button.
All right. We got Sekou got next in the building. What's good?
Hey man, what's good, everybody? Looking forward to a great show today, as always.
All right, man. We got PD Sports in the building. It's good to have you back. What's good?
Yeah, let's get it. Can't wait to talk some basketball with y'all. Thanks to y'all for tuning in.
All right, man. And last but certainly not least, we got the main man, Detroit Drew. What's good?
Detroit Pistons season may be over, but above the rim is just tipping off, man. We got a lot of great stuff to talk about, man. Let's hop right into it.
All right, so first we have a lot of things to talk about, as Drew said, but I think we need to start with the fact that the NBA has announced the 22 teams, and the rest of the teams are not making the playoffs. They don't get a regular season, and their season is over. So now that it's over so sudden, whatever our last loss was, that was our last game. I wish we would have known that back then. But now we got to review the Pistons season because a lot of things happened with this season that turned around to us end up tanking. So I'm gonna ask you, Bravo, what is your season review of the Pistons' current season that just passed? Because the season is over now. So, what do you think happened?
I'm going to be a positive one in here. I think it was overall a good season for the young kids. We developed really nice players. And the first one is going to be Svi Mihailuk. And we didn't really see Svi last year. And this year he came out really strong and he played really well. And he really deserved a spot in this team, in my opinion. I think it was a huge difference having a Svi on our team this year. And it's really feel like that trade, Reggie Bullock trade, it's a win-win for the Pistons, in my opinion. And Svi is a good start. I think it's also a good, really season overall in terms of the point guard because we ended up nice point guard D Rose. I mean, I was really impressed by D Rose this year. He was really, really deserving all-star player this year. And if he is not even in the candidate, unfortunately, but I was really, really a good player. He came up really live this year, and I think he was really one of the best players, if not the best player on our team. I think as a whole team in general, we did fairly well in terms of the player development. Fortunately, there's a lot of injuries, a lot of negative things. I'll be happy to say the positive things rather than stay positive.
All right. I mean, if you want to stay positive, then we can stay positive. It's all good. But Drew, what is your season review of this Pistons past season?
I don't know if I'm going to be as positive as Bravo was because I think he's being modest. Look, I mean, we had high expectations for this year. I mean, if you call it being a 6 seed, high expectations, we certainly had the talent to be a top 4 seed. Obviously, we fell way short of that. Injuries played a huge factor into that. We really learned a lot about this team this year when it comes to adversity. We weren't deep enough. We had a lot of great talent, but we just weren't deep enough. Andre Drummond got traded for nickels on the dollar. That's kind of just disappointing to me when you lose a franchise player like that for pretty much nothing. We got a lot of cap space now, so I guess that's the positive way to look at it. But for right now, what we're looking at here, this season is pretty much a big fat L. We just fell way short of what we had to do. I was really looking forward to watching this team grow and develop. I mean, ever since we made the first playoff run under Stan Van Gundy, we've been waiting for this team to take the next jump, and they just haven't done so yet. Some of the positives would be Sekou. He's got raw talent. He had some ups and downs. Certainly, that dunk was the highlight of his NBA rookie season, and he didn't play a whole lot of games under his rookie belt. Derrick Rose was a free agent steal. I know he didn't play all the games this year, but I remember 97.1, especially Mike Villainy saying that the Derrick Rose signing was a waste of time, waste of effort, and I say to hell with you. One of the best returns for spending money was Derrick Rose in free agency. One of the best free agent signings we have done in a minute in terms of contract and value. I think he's going to be expiring next year, so we have to look into that. And then Christian Wood was an absolute steal. I wasn't so high on him. I don't want to say I wasn't so high on him, but I didn't know much about him, and he quickly turned that. I remember preseason game number 1, he changed my mindset of him just like that. I mean, the guy could ball. Mihailuk had a great year, and I think a lot of the NBA YouTube channels out there, analysts, really need to credit this team for stealing him as well. Again, we gave up Reggie Bullock. Where's he playing at right now? We don't know because he's not Mihailuk. Mihailuk's got a lot of potential right now. Thank you again, Lakers. I mean, it's really a rocky road, up and down season. All in all, it's an L, but we have some things we can pick up on and learn from and really get back at it.
Well, I mean, I'm sad that you said the season is an L, but we got like 26 wins. So what can we say? But it's all good. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure you guys come in here and like the video. We got Kyle Webb in the building. What up, though? We got Pistons Talk in the building. What up? We got Steve Walker in the building. We got B-Ball Gratian in the building. What's good, everybody? But you know, when I think about the review of the Pistons season, first of all, it was a season that we came in with a lot of optimism. I mean, like, okay, yeah, so we're going to come in here, be healthy, be the 6th seed or whatever. So we started the season off without Blake. Saw Luke Kennard average almost 20 points a game. He was playing well with Andre. Reggie Jackson and Blake were hurt, and everything was running smoothly. We were being competitive. Derrick Rose was playing amazing. Like Drew said, Derrick Rose was probably one of the greatest free agent signings we had in the last 15 years. You know what I'm saying? So Derrick Rose has been amazing. And then Blake comes back injured. I told everyone Blake Griffin, and a lot of people disagree with me, surprisingly, because they just wanted to say, no, he's just playing bad. I'm like, no, Blake Griffin is clearly injured. This guy isn't healthy. He cannot be playing right now. He needs to sit out for the rest of the season. That's why I'm like, yeah, I'm just seeing something. He don't got it. And it turned out to be true. And then Luke got hurt, and then we got to see some of the young guys, you know, like Sweet. Well, I told everyone about Sweet Mihailuk. As soon as we got traded him for Reggie Bullock, I said Sweet Mihailuk is about to be amazing. And I told people, and they didn't believe me, but they do now. So, and then we saw Bruce Brown improve from his last season. We saw Dwayne Casey still be Dwayne Casey. To me, Dwayne Casey was a little bit worse coaching this year than last year, honestly. The team was worse. No excuses. But I thought the Pistons actually did well in free agency because early in the season, our free agents was playing well. But the Pistons turned into a team that ended up tanking, you know, and now they getting the top pick because Blake Griffin was hurt. Kind of remind me that happened with the Lions staff was hurt. So now the Lions getting the top pick. So Pistons going to have a top pick because Blake Griffin was hurt. So it's something. It can be something that can really change us. If we can get that point guard that can change us, we're going to be much better off. We got CA3 in the building. Was good.
What's good, y'all? I'm ready to talk some Pistons, man.
All right, we got Matt McLeod and Ball Don't Word Online in the building. All right, Carl, we're going to throw it to you. So what is your review of the Pistons season now that it's over and it's been confirmed because the NBA announced the 22 teams that's going to return to play?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of got mixed feelings about this season. I mean, when it comes to the season, I'm kind of like, I mean, it kind of made me sad because, you know, we weren't able to see the team in its full force. So, you know, it was kind of hard to completely like judge this team and completely, classify the season as a complete disappointment because, I mean, it kind of really wasn't because, I mean, we never had really our team as in its full health. So, and I like what I saw from some of the young guys. You know, it was fun to see, you know, Fee have some good games and Seiko have some good games when they used him right. And, you know, I would have loved to see what Luke Kennard could have done when healthy and what Blake could have done when healthy. And And like you guys said, I love the Derrick Rose signing. He showed that he still got it when he's healthy. So, I feel like the season was, and we saw what Christian Wood can do, and in an increased role when Andre Drummond got traded. So I feel like the season was a disappointment, but also it was a very bright season as well because we saw that we have some pieces, some good young pieces on this team, that can help us in the future.
Right. And I definitely believe that Sekou Doumbouya and Christian Wood was probably the two brightest spots of the entire season. And just like you said, we got two young players that we know we can build on. We can build around these two tall forwards who are two completely different players, but both great in their own right, man. We saw a lot of flash from Sekou. I mean, what he did to Tristan Thompson, I'm still saying RIP every time I see that dude. You want to practice against the Cavaliers, I bet you he gonna get dunked on again. He don't want that smoke. I don't care what he say, bro. Like, he murdered you. You're done. All right. Anyway, Sekou got next, man. What's your opinion and your view of the Pistons season?
Look, man, at the beginning of the season, I thought we was going to be a 4 through 6 seed, and then the injuries happened and a bunch of other stuff happened, and it just kind of went downhill. But I might be the only one saying this. We were stuck in mediocrity. I'm sorry if I say that word wrong, but
mediocrity.
Yeah, mediocrity. We were stuck in that phase for a really long time, and I was always kind of pushing for a rebuild, and we fully committed to a rebuild when we traded Andre Drummond, and we started playing Sekou more. And honestly, I guess, kind of happy that we fully committed to this rebuild because I feel like that's what we should have been doing a long time ago. And we got to see our young players play with Sekou and Christian Wood, and we got to see Derrick Rose revive himself, and it was comeback season. Derrick Rose, man, he was exceptional. He was, like J-Mo said, he was one of the best free agent signings I've seen the Pistons make in the last 15 years. And Christian Wood, Sekou, I really like Jordan Bone. I really like Lewis King, like Craig Sword said. Like, we got potential on this team, and it's shown. And once we get a point guard in this draft and we get a couple more winning pieces, we'll have a great young team with some. We'll have depth and a young team. Langston Galloway, I know you hate him, J-Mo, but he's a really good depth player. But that, honestly, I'm happy with the season because we fully committed to a rebuild, and I'm happy with our young players that we got to see them play.
Hey, man, that's no problem, man. It's a lot of good things you can take from any season that you get a chance to actually build a foundation for something better, because I don't believe in tanking. But see, like I said, we didn't have to tank. We just go out there and lose with no effort. Guess what, guys? Because Reggie Jackson is trash and couldn't beat the Knicks, we now going to be higher than the Knicks. So, thank you, Reggie Jackson. That was a nice farewell present, But I mean, like, you got to think about it, man. When you really think about these things, because we are one spot higher than New York, and that could be the difference between us getting LaMelo or not, because New York wants LaMelo, like, no doubt. We got B-Ball Grasher says, whoa, okay. He says Rose came to compete, not tank. How competitive we are will likely be the major factor in wherever he stays. I mean, well, yeah. If Blake Griffin is healthy, I think that he won't have a problem staying, because we'll be winning more games than when Andre Drummond was here, which is why I think we should have moved on from him, because I really do think that. But so now that the season ended early, we didn't really get to see a lot of players play. I mean, Sekou, I don't know how many games he played, but he didn't even play 30 games, I think. He played like 20-something games. And we've seen a lot of these young players get good and boost up and get a lot of playing time, like Speed. Even Lewis King came and made an effort and an impact. But now the season is just ending like this, and when there's no basketball, PD, do you think that this has affected the development? The season just ending affected some of our players' development?
Well, yeah, it's definitely gonna have an effect on the way they develop. You need game time to get better. The best way to get better is to play in games. So, I mean, it's definitely going to have an effect. I mean, I find it hard to believe it wouldn't have an effect on the players' development, but we'll see what happens. I mean, hopefully the players continue to work on whatever they got to work on, find ways to get better, even though it's not in game. Just do what you got to do. That's on the players to do what they got to do, and hopefully we got the players that are willing to do that. Now I'm glad that there's some positivity coming from this season, because I wasn't really that enthused about it. But I mean, we saw what was going on. We see the direction. We see that we're finally going to do a rebuild, and I actually agree with Sekou that it's good that we're actually going to, well, at least on the surface, it appears we're trying to do a rebuild. But I remember the times where it looked like we were about to do a rebuild, but then we just brought in Josh Smith or brought in Brandon Jennings, and then it wasn't really a rebuild. Then they're just trying to win on the fly. But yeah, I mean, hopefully this is officially the beginning of a true rebuild, and we might be in a world of hurt for a second, but hopefully the young players can develop. It definitely hurts them, but they got to do what they got to do. They're in the NBA. You got to get better. You got to find ways to get better.
All right. Bravo. Do you think the season ending early hurts our player development?
I think so. I think it's ending any kind of changing in the plan of a sudden will change your development. Cutting the season short right away with the COVID disease in general hurt us for sure. All of us, players, teams, plans. There's no easy to come back out of this. So I think it's very important that we took a break right now and things are starting to get better. I think there's a possibility we can catch up if we start doing some more training. But the NBA commissioner, Adam Silver, needs to help us in here. They needs to help the young team markets in making some sort of development plan, because this is how it's supposed to work for us. Otherwise, they don't really care about us. So this is how I feel like. So it's really disappointing to see the season ends right away, but I guess there was a reason for it. Now we need to focus on what's coming next.
Okay, does anybody think that the season ending early doesn't hurt our player development?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, but I think it's a thing that we need to address and talk about, because I would have liked to at least play some more of the rest of the games of the season, just to get those young guys out there against NBA competition, to just get more reps and just get used to playing in the NBA a little bit more, even if it's something weird that's happened because of COVID and, Orlando or something. I wanted them to get reps, but now they are going to get these reps and other teams will. So we'll see what happens with that. Now, our main man, Christian Wood, had a tweet, and he was basically like he wants to win. So my question to everybody is, do you think Christian Wood plans on staying a Piston, or is it up to us to just pay him and he'll stay? So if we open up the checkbook, but it's just depending on how much we're gonna do that. We're gonna start with you, CA3.
Oh man. I don't think that necessarily means that he wants to change teams. I just think he just wants to win. On any team that he's on, just like any player in the NBA, that they want to win. So I think that's all he was trying to say with that tweet. And I think we may have to pay him a good amount for him to stay, but we got to do it.
What's a good amount?
Like I said before, I would say about. I think 4 years. I think 4 years, 6 years is a good amount.
What if he say he wants 75?
Man,
it might be too much, J-Mo, because of the salary cap situation.
Things have changed, but I'm just, I don't. Go ahead.
I think we're gonna have to pay him. A solid amount, because I think there's gonna be teams that are gonna be bidding for him, like New York. Who has a horrible plan for using him, but because they want him to change to small forward, which is retarded. But I think other teams are gonna want him. I think Detroit's gonna have to, give him a good amount for him to stay.
Okay. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We got Derek Barnes in the building. Make sure you guys coming in, like the video, and let me know what you think about Christian Wood and this tweet. Okay, Drew, what's your evaluation of this tweet? And is it up to the Pistons to make sure this tweet is just a bunch of nothing with a nice fat check?
Well, I think as Pistons fans, we always second guess our players' tweets because when we finally get somebody good and they tweet something kind of just like it's not even skeptic, but we treat it that way because we finally have a good player here and we don't want to lose him. And I think we're looking too much into it. I don't think he's necessarily wants to leave. Detroit's one of the teams that finally gave him an opportunity and he thrived in it. We traded our best player in the last 8 to 9 years and gave him the opportunity. We handed the torch to him. I don't think he is mad at Detroit or anything like that. We haven't done anything wrong to him, except for he was mad that when he got tested positive for COVID that they kind of leaked that before he had time to tell his family. I think outside of that, though, he's perfectly content here. He's got a lot of good friends here. Him and Sekou, Bruce Brown, they got like that trio effect. Like they're all buddies off the court. So I think he's comfortable here. I think that he's happy Detroit gave him that opportunity. I think that he's just a little upset that the season didn't go the way it did. Like he should be, or I should say, the Pistons should be in Orlando fighting for that final playoff spot right now. Just if the couple games went different this year, if we would have stayed healthier for just, 5 or 6 more games and would have won those, that we could be in Orlando right now fighting for a playoff spot. And it just didn't go there. And I think that he misses basketball and he wants to get back in the gym and back to dunking on people. I just really think that that's what he meant by it. And I think that next year he's motivated. He's already tweeted out like numerous times he wants to be an all-star next year. He's motivated. He wants to win. He wants to be in the playoffs. I don't think he necessarily wants to leave. I just think it's the fan base is just kind of hitting the panic button on this one. I just think we're looking too much into it right now.
Okay. I like that. All right, Sekou got next. What do you think about Christian Wood's tweet? What's your evaluation of it?
Well, what Drew just said, there's literally no other way to put it. I think the Pistons fan base is looking way too much into it than it really is. Any team he's going to be on, of course, every player wants to win. So, I think the Pistons fan base are looking way too into it. And I think he is happy here. I think, Casey kind of was just like, all right, man, we're taking a chance on you. We're going to hand the torch over to you. I think he has a good relationship with Casey, which is a big thing. I think he has a really good relationship with his teammates. I think the people have definitely told Christian Wood, and he's noticed that the people in Detroit love him, right? So I think he loves Detroit. He has really good relationship with Casey and his teammates, and I think we gave him the chance. So I think he's going to notice that, and I think he's going to stay with us. So I think just people are looking way too deep into it than it really is.
All right. What do you think, Bravo?
I think it could mean two things. It could mean I want to win and I want to make more money. That's what it could mean. Or it could mean I don't want to go to a losing organization, maybe like the Knicks, the Charlotte Hornets. I'm throwing some shades in here on those teams who are interested in Christian Wood. Maybe because I don't see Christian Wood would be willing to go to the Knicks, who are a losing organization, for that reason. I don't know exactly what it means. It means he just wants to win, and he just wants to stay at the Piston, hopefully with good money. That's all I think he can. Probably the first quote.
Well, I would say that it does mean something. It's not just nothing, but what it means is he does not want to be on a bad losing team, whether it's the Pistons or another team that he might consider going to. So the Pistons are gonna have to sweeten the pot. We probably gonna have to overpay him. We done did it with a lot of players anyway. So at least he's a guy that we believe is gonna be something, because a lot of teams are going to open up. I feel like they're going to open up a big checkbook, because this always happens when the Pistons get a player like this. Then every other team wants him, and then somehow he doesn't end up re-signing with us. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I'm just saying that we got to make sure that we make the right decisions in that area with Christian Wood. What about you, CA3?
Oh yeah, I already talked about it, but I think they're going to have to
My fault, man.
I don't think there's anything wrong with sometimes you got to overpay the young guys, in my opinion. I mean, if you got to overpay him a little bit, I don't have a problem with that. Because he's young. As long as you're not overpaying older players like Blake Griffin, I don't have a problem with it.
All right, so ESPN, they said an article because of setbacks in development and because of the season ending that we were just talking about. Several teams that was left out by Orlando, they want some type of compensation because they're not gonna be able to play games like all the rest of the team. And we got reports of the Pistons wanting to hold a practice with the Cleveland Cavaliers just to get their players some reps so they can do better. What's your thoughts on this, Bravo?
I think it's a good thought. We need to have some more reps. And since the season ended earlier, I think we need to have more reps, earlier reps as soon as possible. And like I mentioned, those young players need development. And if you cut them short for like 9 months, look at this. We're not going to play until like December. It's just like 7 months or 9 months. This is ridiculous amount of time. And it's not 9 months. It's close to 7 months actually, which is really like gonna leave an impact on the players, on the athletes in general. So you need more reps and more mini tournaments. I think it would be nice from Adam Silver if he really creates a mini tournament with the winner get some sort of retribution or maybe like a chance at a higher pick maybe in the future. Maybe I don't know how they can make it, but we definitely need one of those. And practicing with the Cavaliers, especially, I think it's a good thing because they are our counterpart in the East, and they're also a young team, and it would be nice to have a young development team with them. I would love to see the Pistons training with other teams and get more mini organization and maybe televised games. It would be nice to see my team again, like the summer league. This is a perfect time for the Pistons to train for summer league. I would love to see a summer league tournament for those young Piston players, but we'll see how it goes.
I think that the league should do something to help out the players, or just the other teams. They should have some type of tournament, even if it's meaningless. I don't know, just some type of basketball. But besides the basketball, it's nice to know that the Pistons are at least trying to reach out to get some reps with some other teams. Drew, what do you think about this whole situation?
I think we need it because we missed an opportunity here to see people like Jordan Bone get called up and get more minutes. He played a little bit this year, but not a whole lot. And the games that he did play for the Pistons, he didn't make a whole lot of an impact. Now in Grand Rapids, he was one of the top dogs down there and had a great year. Dante Hall got called up on a 2-way contract, and then by that second week, season's over. Lewis King, he had a little bit of reps out there. Again, not much. So those three guys right there have a lot of potential and really need to work on their game. They just didn't get the time. Like this was right when the season ended for the Pistons, was going to be right around the moment that those guys were going to get the call-ups. We probably would have seen Derrick Rose get shut down for the rest of the year as well. Luke Kennard was about to come back. He could have used the extra reps. It just sucked. So by the teams who aren't going to be in Orlando reaching out to the NBA and asking just for something, even if it just is joint practices, joint scrimmages, a mini tournament. Maybe they can do a tournament for those teams for lottery. I don't know. It would give those teams something to play for. I don't know if the NBA would like that or not. Again, I'm not there. It's just something to think about and discuss. I don't think they'll do it that way, but that would be very interesting. Gives you something to watch, gives those teams something to play for. But I don't even know if people like Blake Griffin or Derrick Rose, we talked about Cleveland. I don't know if Kevin Love or Andre Drummond would even come there and play because they don't need those reps. They're established. They're going to come back next year in December and continue to put up their numbers. They're fine. This is really going to be a process of evaluating your younger talent. This is going to be a process to give people like Luke Kennard, Bruce Brown, Steve some more looks at point guards, get them even more comfortable playing that position and adding more to their game and giving people like Sekou, like I said, Jordan Bone, Dante Hall, Lewis King, our boy Craig Sword, who came on the show. Give those guys some reps up there because the G League season's over as well. Give all those guys some extra reps. Give them in the practice facility. Let them play against some NBA level talent, even if it's not Cleveland's A+ talent or our A+ talent. If you can say we got A+ talent, and just let them go up there and get some reps. Go in there and let Casey coach these guys. Let Casey coach them the way they want to. So that way, when they officially go into their offseason where they can work on their game individually, that way Casey can tell them what he wants to see them improve on. They know what their coach wants from so that way they can go into next year knowing what they need to do to get better. Because even though we are in a rebuild, this team could be one move away from being right back into the playoff hunt. So we need to see these guys take a jump in their talents, in their progression, in passing, defense, shooting, above the rim finishes, contact finishes, you name it. All these guys still need to get better at it. So this can do nothing but absolutely help these young guys, help the Pistons, because we, like I said, we didn't get to evaluate our younger players. This would be a perfect time to do so. We're not doing much. We would have time to invest in the young guys, which during an NBA season, you may not, because you're focused on losing the game, so that way your draft goes up. This way you'll be able to actually coach the younger players and put all your effort and energy into that.
Yeah, I do think it would be interesting if the NBA, man, I don't know, man. I just want a lot of changes, and I think it would be fun that let all of the bad teams play for the number 1 seed in the tournament every year. That would be amazing. So we'd be like, all right, so yeah, we ain't gonna make the playoffs, but at least we go to the tournament, we can get the number 1 overall pick. It would change a lot. It would change a lot of dynamics, and it would make the NBA even more fun than it is. They trying to compete with the NFL. You got to do a little bit more. That's why college has all of these tournaments and mini tournaments and things of that nature. But all right, Sekou got next. What do you think about this whole situation?
I'm sorry, but can you just repeat your question one more time?
It was the question about the Pistons wanting to do practices with Cavalier.
Yeah, especially why would I not want them to get some reps? So yeah, I would definitely want them to get some reps. It would probably be all our young guys. Jordan Bone, maybe our boy, Craig Sort could get a chance, like Drew said. Jordan Bone, Lewis King, Craig Sort himself, who he plays with, said he's very high on him. So that would be nice seeing him play a little more. Kyrie Thomas, So I would be, Kyrie Thomas. Look, so I would be thrilled just to have our players get some reps, and if they do do a little bit of like a summer league thing, I would be happy too, just so I could see all our young players again, because that's what I love about the Pistons is our young talent. And like I would just love to have them get some reps since they haven't played basketball in 3 months, So yeah, I think it would be great just because our players need to get some reps. I mean, that's
right. Yeah. The people in the chat, they are debating Christian Wood, and apparently people are talking about $175 million. They're having fun in the chat, man. Shout out to all of you guys. Make sure you guys like the video, man. And I'm gonna reestablish, man. It's crazy. They talking about all types of stuff. So, with the 22 team format, we got the other teams that didn't make the playoffs wanting some type of compensation, and some teams have proposed some ideas for training camps or summer league or mini camps, and the Pistons are one of those teams, and they have plans or are in talks to maybe hold some type of practices or scrimmages against the Cavaliers as of now. PD, what do you think about this whole situation and the teams wanting some compensation and trying to do it through tournaments, and the Pistons being one of those teams that's going out there and putting the effort forward to like get this established right now?
Well, I mean, the more these young players play, the better. I'm not against the Pistons doing this at all. I am extremely for it. We got to develop our players. That's been a problem forever, it seems like. So we got to start developing our younger players a little better. And this is a good start to doing that.
Drew, can you please put it up because I'm about to talk about this Christian Wood deal for a second. Hold up, guys. Y'all, this deal from B-Ball Gratiot, it says 5 years, 175 million, 135 million guaranteed, 40 million incentivized by year, 22 mil, 24 mil, 27 mil, 30 mil, 32 mil. Someone else will offer as much. What? Let me tell you this. Hold up, guys. We gonna talk about this. Let me tell you this. I agree with you. Someone probably could offer as much, but if for damn sure ain't gonna be us. You want that, bro? You can leave, bro. Hit the road, bro. Like, gone. But this is something that's crazy. But Christian Wood might demand this type of money because he was balling that hard. So what do you think about this, Bravo?
That's crazy, right? He's an undrafted player and he's requesting this amount of money. I have not seen it like this. I don't think it's going to happen because of the fact that, first of all, he has never made an All-Star already yet. And if you would have made an All-Star, I would consider that that's crazy in my book.
Hell no.
But he hasn't made an All-Star first. Number two, he's an undrafted player. So based on the salary raise, you're asking for like a max player right now. He is not worth a max deal, in my opinion. Some teams could throw this money, but that would be stupid. I wouldn't be one of them. I would let him go. I would not really bring him back.
Yeah, I
at that
think
amount of money.
$175 million is ridiculous. Like that's a $200 million contract. So maybe he meant $125 million. Because $175 million is like superstar money. I can't lie, the Knicks would do it because they the Knicks, but I think they don't. Man, that's way too much. Derek Barnes says $20 million a year would be more than enough to bring Wood back, and I think so. And I think $20 million a year is way too much too. But like that's something else. Anybody else got an opinion on this suggestion that Wood could get this 5-year, $175 million deal offer from somebody else? Maybe.
Yeah, I got one.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. Bravo, number one, what you just said, I have a couple problems with. I'm not saying I have a problem with 175 mil because that is way too much money. I would not pay him that. But the thing about you saying he's an undrafted player and he hasn't made an All-Star yet, he hasn't made an All-Star because he's never gotten the chance. And being undrafted doesn't mean anything to me. It just matters what you are now. So if he's balling out right now and he was undrafted, who cares? You know, it does. I don't care if you're the first pick or the last pick or go undrafted. As long as you're playing good and you play hard, just like Christian Wood does, I respect you. And Christian Wood's a really good player. It doesn't matter if if he went undrafted or he never made an All-Star. He never got the chance to make an All-Star, but he got the chance and he balled out. So I'm saying if he gets that chance next year, he will ball out. But $175 million is a lot of money. Like I would do 120 mil. I would do like 120 mil, like at most. Like if that's the amount we have to pay him, then I mean go for it because I think he'll be a really, really good player. But I think 120 mil is about as high as I'm gonna go. Like maybe at very, very most if he somehow can pull it off like 125 mil, but I think 120 mil is as high as I would personally go.
Okay, Bravo, he just came at your neck. You got any response, man?
I don't think that's the right way because we were trying to get off people's contract already. Blake Griffin, Andre Drummond, Piston would never. I don't think they're gonna do a mistake like that. I'm not gonna call it a huge mistake of 75 million. 175 million is a mistake for sure, but 110. So here's the thing: if you convince me with Christian Wood making an All-Star next 3 years, I would do it. But how would you convince me Christian Wood is an All-Star in the East? I don't know. I don't see it happening. It might not be the case, and I don't know if he has the capacity to be an All-Star. He's a really good player. Don't get me wrong. I love Christian Wood. I think we must bring him back, in my opinion. But I don't think I would bring him back with this amount of money, and because we need the money, and the salary cap is getting smaller in the next few years because of the COVID. So I don't think it's appropriate to do this deal by any means. I wouldn't even pay him more than $20 million, in my opinion. If the price is $20 million or above, I'd rather let him go. I mean, even if he's going to be an All-Star, maybe a couple of years All-Star. I don't know if he's going to be multi-year All-Star. So that's my impression about Christian Wood, and just my personal opinion. I like his game, and I think he's an excellent power forward. But I would not really pay him this amount of money. You pay this amount of money for a guy like a shooting guard, point guard. That's right. That looks definitely like a Chris Middleton. He would definitely worth a contract like this, maybe. I mean, even a guy like Luka Doncic, he would probably go more for this. He is a first-year max, a super max in the next few years. This amount of money for a guy like Christian Wood, who has not made an All-Star yet, it may be too much for my opinion.
Okay, well, how is he supposed to make an All-Star when he's never got the chance to make an All-Star?
That's right. That's still that. I see your point, but what if you make that money and
look,
not make it all at once?
Hold on. Look, he hasn't had a chance to make an All-Star, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Even if he was a damn All-Star, averaging what he averaged last year, he don't deserve to be paid $175 million.
No, I'm not saying he deserves to be paid $100.
I'm just saying, like, and he has to go out and actually prove it. You know, with the All-Star thing, he has to go out and actually prove it. Like he had all that opportunity because Andre Drummond got traded, and there was no Blake, there was no Luke taking shots, there's no Derrick Rose taking shots, there's no Sekou out there. So when everybody else comes back and the team is healthy, can you still do that on 10, 12 shots? So we'll see what he'll be able to do. But anybody else got an opinion on that before we move on?
One more point. I want to add a huge point in here. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. If you pay a player this amount of money, you are first stuck with this money. And the second important thing, you are going to lower the player's value automatically in the trade talk. You're stuck with a big contract for him like this, and you'll see limited amount of teams willing to trade for him for a similar kind of all-star player. That's how I think about it. So you try not to overpay your players. Trust me.
I mean,
CA3, you was gonna say something?
Yeah, I mean, my thing about this is like, why would you pay him that much money and you only really saw him like have all-star level production in the one half of the season? Like that makes no sense. Like you don't even pay many like all-stars this kind of money. Like that makes it would make no sense to pay somebody that much money based off of just one half of a season of production. Like it's like me like going like starting out my high school career averaging like 15 points per game, and then the second half of my high school career I averaged like 30 points per game, and they're saying I'm the best player in the nation, like just based off of that one half of the season. Like that makes no sense. Like it really makes no sense. Like, I can't like justify paying him that much money.
All right. We gonna move on from all them questions now. So with the 22 seed team thing happening, now they have been talking about, the NBA has been talking about the lottery, and things have changed. So now with the lottery percentages, the Pistons have the 5th best odds to get the 1 seed, but we were a half game out from having the 2nd best odds. That means if we play one more basketball game, we can have the 2nd best odds to have the number 1 overall pick. And because of the things that happened with COVID and what happened with the NBA canceling, now the Pistons and some other teams at least the Pistons, we got the 5th best odds now to get the number 1 seed. And I mean, honestly, I don't like that, but I would like to get your thoughts on this, Drew.
It's kind of like the NBA just like backhanded us with their pimp hand, because man, I just really wish they would have boosted the lottery for the Pistons, because we have just been struggling in the last 16 years since the finals win. We've still been a competitive team, but next year we lost in 7 to San Antonio. Then afterwards we couldn't make it back to the finals. We went to the conference finals a ton. We traded Chauncey away for AI, and then it just was just 03. Starting with that, just poor draft. We could really use a boost in the lottery, and just because we have the 5th pick right now, you don't know which way the lottery is going to fall. We could still end up with a top 4 pick. As of right now, we still have like a 14% chance of getting a top 4 pick, and I think it's like 10% of landing the number 1 pick. It's not great, but it's hope. We have to just trust the basketball gods to help us out, because even if we get the 5th pick, we're still going to get a solid player. It's just your chance of landing a superstar or a guy who's going to come in and change the team like right now is going to get less and less. I think we can still get a good guy. Like Killian Hayes is a point guard that could be there at 5 still. Halliburton is a point guard who could be there at 5. Cole Anthony could be there at 5. Obi Toppin, we'll talk about him later, could still be there at 5. So, I mean, you're guaranteed one of those guys, and I don't really know which one would be a better fit right now this next season for the Pistons, but you'll be able to get a guy that can be a part of this young core still. Obviously, if you land a top 4 pick, you're guaranteed LaMelo, which is my favorite, Anthony Edwards, James Wiseman, or any of the guys we just listed. So if you get a top 4 pick or a top 3 pick, you're almost guaranteed to get one of those guys. So it would be nice if we would have played that extra game real quick before the season ended and would have got that quick L, because we'd be having such a more positive look at this draft. Because as of right now, technically we really don't know where we're going to be at draft day, and we're going to have to wait till almost the end of August to officially find out. But positive side I'm gonna throw onto it before I end my final thought on this is I think we have enough pieces where if the lottery does not hurt us, that if we really wanted to, if the Pistons front office had enough faith in one player, rather if it's LaMelo, Anthony Edwards, Wiseman, Obi Toppin, anybody, I think we have enough assets that we could trade our first round pick and a player, if not two, because we have a lot of young guys we could give up. We have some very good veterans like Derrick Rose. A lot of teams wanted Derrick Rose last year. We just didn't trade him. I don't know if we will, but that would be enough to move up. So I think the Pistons are sitting pretty right now.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. Look, we gonna get the number 1 overall pick, or we gonna have a chance to get LaMelo if everything works out and the NBA draft is on October 15th, which is my birthday. So now let me tell you, if it's on my birthday, everything gonna work out. Like
Yes,
I have
sir.
very good luck on my birthday. I'm one of those people. Like,
Hey, man.
everything works out. So hey, if it happened on my birthday, we getting a top 3 pick or a top 3 player. I don't care who we trading, it's gonna happen.
Hey,
But
just
all right.
imagine movement.
No, man, that would be great, man. We get LaMelo on my birthday, I'm gonna lose. I'm
That'll be
would
my
be
present.
crazy.
That'll
That
be
would
my
be a nice
present to you.
birthday
You can just say thank me later.
Yeah.
right. Like he'd be like, "You welcome, Pistons Nation. This is all because of me." But okay, so the Pistons have the 5th best odds to get the 1 seed, but they were a half game out of getting the second best odds for the 1 seed. PD, what do you think about the whole situation with the NBA canceling, causing us to now have the odds that we have?
I might have a take a little out of left field, but I'm kind of indifferent, honestly, about where we draft. I care who we draft. Whoever we draft, we gotta develop them. I mean, that's what it all comes down to. Like, just get a good draft. Just because you don't have a just because you don't have the first overall pick doesn't necessarily mean you can't get a good player. I guess is what I'm.
Well, look, PD, I understand what you're saying, but I'm gonna be honest with you. This is like one of them drafts where it's like the top 7 players and the rest gonna be garbage. So, like, this is one of them top heavy drafts. So it might really matter who we get. Some would say.
Yeah, 100%.
I think that's a fair point. Don't get me wrong. That's definitely a fair point. But I don't know. I just think whoever we get, we gotta develop them. That's what it all boils down to. Whoever we get, we gotta develop them and develop them really well. Is I guess where I'm at. I don't know.
Oh, okay. We got Devin99 in the building, Luke G Spill Review in the building, John Jones in the building. What's good, everybody? Everybody coming in. Make sure you guys like the video. All right, Sekou got next. What do you think about this? About us now having the 5th best odds because the season ended and we like one more loss and we would have had the 2nd best odds at the number 1 overall pick.
What you mean? How I feel? I mean, dude, it's horrible, man. It's just Pistons luck. Hey, but J-Mo, on your birthday, man, you could be the savior of Detroit. You could be the savior, man. You could be the savior
Right now, man.
and then, but like, I mean, it's a horrible thing. If we would have had 2nd best lottery odds, we got a real good chance of getting LaMelo. And like J-Mo said, I think this is not really the prettiest draft class I've ever seen. I mean, but there is. I mean, like J-Mo said, it's one of those drafts where it's just like the outside the top 7 players, like I just don't see anything special. Like, I don't know, man. I just think it's horrible. It's just the Pistons gods always let the Pistons down, man. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be all right. Like we'll still end up doing well. But Bravo, what you think about this?
Okay, I'm gonna say one more thing, and I'm a stats guy, so I'd like to show you something here quickly, and this is gonna be impressive for all of you guys. Again, I've showed this picture before. Can you guys see it?
Hold on.
Hold on, give us a second.
There
Give
you
me a
go.
second.
There you go.
Okay.
Let me clear the
This is
chat
the
out.
whole NBA lottery draft. I'm looking at the statistics. Look at every team's chance, the highest chance of landing their what is their highest chance in each team? Look at the Detroit Pistons. A highest chance is landing is a 7th pick, which is kind of bad. And the second highest chance is the 6th pick. And then we have an equal chance at 1 through 4 pick. And collectively, we have 42% chance of landing 1 through 4 compared to the 26th and the 19th pick at 6 and 7. So we have a good chance at landing a top 4, including the top first pick. Look at this. Would you want to be switched with the Golden State Warriors? If we really would have lost all these games and switched with the Golden State Warriors, look at their chances. They have 47% chance at landing 5th. This is ridiculously high. So their draft, I think the first round, the first losers team, like the Golden State Warriors, have the worst chance of landing the first round pick.
Yeah, I would want
That doesn't
Minnesota right now.
That doesn't make any sense. You
Exactly.
would think that. I know they changed it to eliminate tanking, but I understand the first 3 teams right there all having equal shots at landing the top 3 pick because they're the worst teams. But someone like Detroit, who wasn't as bad as those teams, why do we have a higher percentage of getting the 6th spot rather than the 5th spot? Like, that should be flip-flopped.
Yeah, this is understanding. I know it's because this is Adam Silver who made it this way. But look at this. Golden State Warriors have like 47% chance compared to the first 4 picks. Like their highest chance at landing number 5. And then they have like 14% at number 1. The same thing with the Cleveland. They have a really high chance, like almost 47% at landing 5 and 6. So I can say the Golden State Warriors and Cleveland not landing the first round first pick. Minnesota have the best really team in here because their chances are really very well distributed, like 14, 13, 12, 12, 14, and 26. They still have high chance at falling towards the 6th spot, but they have really nice equal chances of 1 through 5. So if I'm a statistician, I'm betting Minnesota is gonna land the first round pick, and I think Detroit have a really good chance of landing the first through 4th pick. Same thing with Atlanta. Atlanta is really close to Detroit, but they have a really higher chance at landing 6 than us and 7. But I wouldn't really be swapping with Atlanta. I would be interested in swapping with Minnesota. That would be the team to look at. That's just my statistical impression. I'm very happy with the number 5th spot. I mean, I'm not going to say very happy. I'm happy with the 5th spot because of the chances we have right now. And I'd rather take my chances at the 5th spot than being 6th. The New York Knicks, actually, I didn't show up in here. They have a really worse chance of landing the top 4 than us. Like their chance at landing the top 4 is like 37%, comparing to our chances like 42%. At the end of the day, guys, it's all about chance and it's all about luck. Whenever you have more chances in winning the lottery, it means you have more luck percentage. So I think we have a good chance, 10% and 1 through 4. And I'm betting that we're going to land 1 through 4, hopefully.
Okay, so you heard it here first, guys. You heard it here first. Breaking news. The Warriors is getting the 5th pick. Minnesota going to be number 1. And Cleveland going to be number 4. I can honestly see the Pistons falling between 1 through 3 and then trading up with Minnesota at 1 so we can get LaMelo. And like LeVar said, he's going to go number 1 overall
Yes,
to
sir.
Pistons, though. All right, Sekou, you got something you don't want to say?
Oh, yeah, I want to shout out my boy Miggy World on Twitter. I know he's watching right now. Definitely go follow him. He's a sick account. Yeah, Miggy World.
All right. We're going to move on to the next question. Now, so Malik Rose is announced that he's leaving the Pistons, and the Pistons have been looking at some of these assistants. I know you might not know the names of these people or brush up on them, but we're going to tell you Ryan McDonough from the Suns, Clipper assistant GM Mark Hughes, former Hawks GM Wells Wilcox, OKC assistant GM Troy Weaver, and the Nets assistant general manager Jeff Peterson. All are in the running for the Pistons general manager. So what do you guys think about these candidates? I know we were talking about Chauncey Billups and Shane Battier and guys like Tayshaun Prince maybe being assistant general managers on the last show, but these are some of the guys that they're interested in. And if they want somebody who's proven, who's actually done the job before, they don't want to bring in somebody new. So like guys like Chauncey and stuff like that, I don't think that they're going to bring in a guy like that. They want to bring in more qualified guys, and these are some of the guys that they have been looking at. So what do you think about these candidates, Drew?
Well, 2 words to Malik Rose. Well, two words for Malik Rose. Bye, Felicia. Don't really know what he did here, but best of wishes to you wherever you go. And to be honest with you, I'm just a little bit disappointed that they didn't put any of like Tayshaun Prince or Chauncey Billups into that list right now, because even if they're not the right candidates, I feel like as an organization, you kind of need to reach out to them. You owe it to them for everything you did. And again, I'm not saying that Tayshaun or Chauncey Billups would be the best candidate. There's probably more people out there who are way more qualified, but you got to reach out to those guys, man. They played here. You owe it to them. They're fan favorites. And it shows the fans that, hey, even though we may not hire this guy, at least we took the time out of our day to interview him, because you don't know. They might knock your socks off. But the guys that you
I think
listed,
they're interested more in Tayshaun and Chauncey being assistants. That's what so it sucks, but they could still be on the team. But I think they want them more to be assistants because they want somebody with experience.
Right, and I think that's the right move to go in and rebuild. I'm not really sure too much about these guys. I don't know that much about them, but it's on Ed Stefanski to do these interviews and get the right person in here. I don't care if I know the person, if I've never heard of them before. I'm gonna come in here when we hired this dude or female, whatever it is. It's 2020. Doors are open for all that. I'm coming in here with a clean slate. They gotta prove me wrong that they're not the right guy, because I feel like they have to get this right. We need a GM. We have not had a good GM in years. We need a guy who's coming here, get these contract talks done. No more waiting until the last possible second in terms of trying to trade a player or sign them like we did with Andre. That really, really sucked. No more passing on elite talent in the draft. Get a GM here who can get a good scout, who knows who they want and what pick they're going to have to get the right person in there. And I think Stefanski's done a good job of getting talent where he's drafted. Obviously, we're looking back last year of trading away that 30th pick. But, hey, it is what it is. There's nothing we can do to change it right now. But so far, I haven't complained too much about the draft we've done. I've liked everyone that we drafted so far. They just have to get this one right. And like I said, I don't care if I know the person, if I don't know him, man. Get the right personnel in here.
B-Ball Grass just said some things that everybody might be asking. He says, like, what are some of the resumes? Well, you just got to look at where they come from and what that team has done. So when you look at the Suns, he's the assistant general manager for the Suns. So all of the moves that the Suns have been making, he has a part of that. And when you look at the former Hawks GM, I mean, like, what did he do? So that's not really good. And then you look at Troy Weaver with the Nets, and you've seen the moves that the Nets have made and how the Nets have gotten guys like Dinwiddie and KD and Kyrie. And just, they've done things over there. And then you got the guy from the Clippers, who I'm most interested in, mainly because he comes from the Clippers and everybody in that organization when they go somewhere. And that's Mark Hughes. When they go somewhere that it turns to gold. So, I mean, and I think Malik Rose might have had something to do with us trading that 30th pick because he's an idiot. Good riddance, just like you said, like, we don't need you. But you look at some of the guys, you got to look at the organizations that they came from and look at those moves that those organizations made. And, honestly, I would like the Nets or Mark Hughes, definitely from the Clippers. I would be okay with that. I'm not trying to get anybody from the Suns unless they're trying to give me their basketball coach. But that's another conversation for another day. But all right, PD, what do you think about this?
I guess I'm just gonna echo what y'all said so far about Malik Rose. I'm indifferent about him leaving the team. As far as who I would want as a GM, I'm not overly familiar with many of these guys, but like what Drew said, bring the guy in, knows what he's doing, and like we'll draft the right players that are trying and that will fit whatever you're trying to do. Like we got to get it has to be gotten right. Like we all know about the Pistons draft history, and we all know it. We've been in a world of hurt pretty much ever since Chauncey Billups was traded from this basketball team. So we got to get the right person in for sure. But I mean, I guess the Clippers guy. I mean, the Clippers have done good things lately, so that would certainly be good. The guy on the Suns, I'm not 100% sure. I guess if I had to make a pick, I want the Clippers assistant GM Mark Hughes, because the Clippers have done some nice things lately. So I guess if I had to pick, that would be who I would want. But I don't know how much say or whatever Hughes is having over there in Los Angeles or with that organization. But I don't know. I guess I'm going with proximity to greatness in this instance could equal greatness.
Well, I mean, but you have to look at it though. You have to give the assistant GM some credit
oh
in
yeah,
any organization for the good or bad that the team does, especially when you're there for a while. As Pistons talk brought up, Troy Weaver, who's been with OKC for 12 years, and we know how great OKC drafts. Like he would be another running candidate along with Mark Hughes that I would be heavily interested in. And you just got to look at the moves that they've made. I mean, the front office with the OKC somehow got 5 first-round picks, like and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Danilo Gallinari, and then they ended up with Chris Paul too. Like how?
No.
Like
No.
they a playoff team and they lost 2 superstars.
No,
Like-
that's a good point.
Yeah, we all thought they were done for, but they turned to the 5th seed in the West. Wow, just crazy.
Yeah, and
Well,
so
I mean-
we have to look at all the moves in the front office that they have been making. But what you
Don't
about to
forget
say?
though, if he's been there for 12 years, about the whole James Harden stuff, man.
Well, no, that was the owner not wanting to pay the luxury tax though. That wasn't the front office. That was the owner's fault.
I mean,
Um,
yeah. I mean, I think James Harden. I mean, I think it was a mixture of the owner not wanting to pay him. I think just James Harden went. I think it was a good decision for James Harden to want his own team, because it would be kind of hard to have all three of those ball dominant players, work for a long time, because Harden.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree with you there. They made it to the finals, and if Harden stayed on that team, they would have they would have been a dynasty. I'm sorry, like I just can't. I think they would have learned how to play together, because it's about being on teams. Like it's about chemistry, and even though they're 3 ball dominant players and all of this whatever, eventually they would have figured out a way to all play together, because that's what happens when you surrounded by like great talent like that. They didn't make it to the finals doing this. KD was leading the way, and then Westbrook was right there with him, and Harden was third fiddle. But you never know what would have happened, man. And they had injuries. I remember one year Westbrook got hurt, one year KD got hurt. If they had Harden, maybe they still do something. But back to the original question. So what do you think about the candidates? We got Hawks GM Wes Wilcox, OKC Troy Weaver, Nets assistant general manager Jeff Peterson. We got Clippers assistant GM Mark Hughes. What do you think about some of the candidates that the Pistons are looking at for GM? They're not looking for Tayshaun Prince or Chauncey Billups. They're looking at them more to be an assistant GM. But what do you think, Sekou, got next?
Hey, man, listen, give me Troy Weaver, man. This guy's been working with Sam Presti, who I think is an amazing GM, and he's drafted amazing and perfect. Honestly, I think Stefanski and Troy Weaver would go along perfectly, because you've all seen Ed Stefanski works really, really good with his money. He makes good free agent signings, and Troy Weaver is really good at drafting. So, I mean, that's just like a dynamic deal right there. I feel like if we got Troy Weaver, I think we would have one of the best front offices in the NBA with Casey, Stefanski, and Troy Weaver. Like, I really love Troy Weaver. He could really, really, really good drafting, and Ed Stefanski is really, really good with his money. So, and Malik Rose is gone, thank God. But
I don't disagree with you there. Piston Talk says Troy Weaver is the best choice, and it's not even close.
yeah,
Derek Barnes says Mark Hughes is from Michigan, bring him home. But it's just all about what person you want. But I'm glad we're actually looking for qualified guys instead of bringing in somebody new that's going to be learning on the job. It's time to get some guys that know what they're doing. But CA3, what do you think about this whole situation with the candidates that the Pistons are interested in bringing?
Like I said in the video that I made a week ago, I just want to get a guy that's going to make good decisions for our team. And we haven't drafted well in years. I mean, like the only good player we've gotten, like I can think of in recent history, is Andre Drummond. That turned out to be something that's something decent and something good. I mean, we haven't really got anybody besides Andre Drummond. But we need somebody who's going to make good decisions and who's going to attract some free agents to Detroit. I think Troy Weaver could do that. I mean, this guy has. I mean, he's been with the Thunder for the past 12 years, and he's already drafted. I mean, if you think about it, he's helped draft 2 superstars already. So I mean, you can't look past that. So I think he'll be a great candidate for us, and I think Mark Hughes is a solid candidate as well because he's from Michigan. He went to the University of Michigan. He's comfortable in Michigan. So I mean, I think that would be a solid pickup as well. And but I mean, it doesn't really matter who we get, in my opinion, as long as he can make some good decisions and draft good players finally, because we haven't had a good draft in years. So we need some.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
Okay, I think Luke and Sekou and even getting Bruce Brown in the second round was some pretty good dealings.
I should say that we haven't
recent memory.
My bad. I mean, I should rephrase this. I think we haven't had anybody that's panned out yet. That's what I should say. But I think Sekou will pan out eventually. But still, we haven't had anybody to pan out really.
Luke ain't pan out. What you talking about?
I mean, we still haven't seen Luke, at his full potential yet. But I
mean, but he averaging 19. What more do y'all fans want?
20. I want 20,
shooting, man. Like in his third year, man. Like I'm just saying, like, man, y'all gotta stop disrespecting that man, bro.
No, man, it's just tough for us Pistons fans, man. We haven't had
y'all so disrespectful. But Robert, what do you think about this whole situation and the guys that we bring in? And I do think that it does matter who we bring, because if we bring in the wrong person, then they'll make wrong decisions. I think Troy Weaver and Mark Hughes should be we need one of those 2 guys. That's just the way that I feel about it. But what do you think about this, Robert?
Actually, I mean, I'm happy to talk the last one in here about this particular matter. I'm disappointed, actually. The list has been so far pathetic. I'll be honest with you. Ryan McDonough.
Is pathetic?
Oh, it's not. No, the list we interviewed. We interviewed 3 candidates, or we are on our list. Ryan McDonough, Wes Wilcox, and Mark Hughes. I don't know if they interviewed yet or not. But Ryan McDonough, let me tell you about this guy. The Phoenix Suns GM is a horrible coach. The only thing he did in his life is drafted Devin Booker in 2015. That's the only good positive thing. But look at him. He did horrible things. In 2017, he drafted Josh Jackson with the number 4th pick. And look at what happened to him. They left him go for free. In 2016, they drafted Dragon Bender with the 4th pick and traded their Bogdanovich draft consideration to the Kings, and they got Marquise Chris, which is even worse. That's a bad move too. And also in 2013, they drafted with the 5th pick Alex Len. So I don't know what kind of this past year they drafted Cam Johnson with a higher pick. He's not even projected to be that high in the last year. So he made terrible decisions, in my opinion. I'm so disappointed that the Pistons are interviewing a guy like this Ryan McDonough. I don't know why. I don't understand it. The other candidates, Wes Wilcox, he is known guy in Atlanta Hawks. He did also not really great moves. He let Al Horford go for free. He did not really bring him back, and he didn't really treat Paul Millsap right when they got him in there. So it wasn't really a good choice. They did okay drafts, but I don't like this Wes Wilcox because of the fact that they drafted DeAndre Bembry, I think in 2016 or 17. He was a nice player. I like him, but the guy is known for his racial comments, and I don't like him really for that particular reason. And we don't need a guy like from him on this Piston organization. Mark Hughes, I'm okay with him, but again, I don't know if he has enough resume. He only got appointed for the Clippers in 2017 as an assistant GM. So he's really fairly new. He made nice Shane Gilgeous-Alexander. He helped the trade of Blake Griffin get nice asset, and now he really helped. I think he did help, but it probably is Jerry West. He helped the Kawhi Leonard package. So I think Mark Hughes is probably the best out of those 3 candidates, but I'm still not really interested. I mean, I want someone like Troy Weaver. I want someone like Michael Zarin from the Boston Celtics. He's an assistant GM. He's a really great GM. I think assistant GM. He will be a really excellent candidate for us. But Troy Weaver is the guy. If I would ask, I would be also giving a chance for Tayshaun Prince. I don't know why you guys. I know he doesn't have much experience, but I think Tayshaun Prince, he might be better than Mark Hughes. I don't quote me on that 100%, but I think we might want to give it to Tayshaun Prince than Mark Hughes. Why would we go with Mark Hughes who hasn't had much experience? And so we have to pick someone right, and we can't just go with Ryan McDonough. I'm disappointed. This is the list. We need more search, and I hope this is just the start of a search. The bad candidates initially, then we get the best candidates later. That's my hope.
Okay. Quillfish says, so do you want an analytics guy or former player? I just want a guy that can do the job. The man can be named Buster, whatever, for all I care, Buster He-Man or whatever. He's. But I agree with you there. I don't really care about their specialty. I just need a good guy that knows what he's doing. But also, there you have it, guys. Bravo, the resident scouting expert, with your breakdown of every GM, and he highlighted all of the bad moves that those guys did, which means that the Pistons will probably get them. It's just like the Pistons to interview the guys with the worst resumes first, and not interview the qualified guys. Like Troy Reaver needs to be on the phone. Michael Zarin from the Celtics needs to be on the phone talking with the Pistons. We need to get guys from winning organizations that have been having good drafts and see what they can really do. But okay, so now we're gonna move on to our draft highlight prospect of the day. As everyone knows, it's Free Smoke Saturday. Everyone in the chat, make sure you like that video. We're gonna talk about my main man, Obi Toppin. So my question to you guys is, what do you think about Obi Toppin, and do you think that he's a player that the Pistons could select? What is your overall breakdown of Obi Toppin? So we're going to go with you, PD.
I think I like Obi Toppin as a player. He's got pretty solid court vision. His 3-point percentage, I'm not sure how it will translate, like based on what I've read, a couple videos I watched on him, and mostly on a couple videos I watched on him. But I don't know. I like him as a player. I like him in transition. I like he's got his dunks are nice. Obviously, there's a lot more to basketball than dunking, but I don't know. I like Toppin. I like Toppin as a player.
Okay. Do you think that Obi Toppin is a player that we actually should go out and get?
I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I don't have any magical solution to here. I mean, yeah, I think we should go out and get him. I mean, will we? I don't know. I mean, let's be honest. There's so many players that we should go out and get. I mean, it's just no. I like Toppin. I think he could be a good player for us. Yeah, sure. I'll say we should get him. Why not?
All right, Sekou got next. What is your overall breakdown as Toppin as a prospect, and as a prospect maybe for with the Pistons? We've been talking about the odds. Where the odds might fall, we might be in line to get Obi Toppin, because he might be right there on the board if we're sitting at 4 or 5 or 6 or something like that. So, what do you think about him as a prospect?
Look, man, Obi Toppin, he's a great player, and I think he's gonna be a really great player in the NBA. But does he really fit on the Pistons? Is what I would be worried about. I have no doubt that he's gonna be a great player, just like I think James Wiseman is gonna be a great player. It's just I don't know if Obi Toppin will fit on the Pistons, or if we're gonna maximize his potential, because I feel like he could be a lot more on another team, because we have Christian Wood here, and I don't think, unless we move Christian Wood to center, which I think he plays straight power forward, but unless we would move Christian Wood to center, I feel like that would only, if you're the 4th pick, I would want you to start on a rebuilding team, and I don't think he would have that chance here. So I don't think he fits really good on the Pistons, but I do think he will be a really good player.
I mean, well, fit is something that I would say is relative, because we have to realize that if we were actually to draft Obi Toppin, I don't see the Pistons keeping Christian Wood, because you just drafted Obi. If it works out like that, it works out like that. But it will be no point in paying Christian Wood some huge contract when you got a prospect, when you just got another prospect at the power forward position, if it plays out like that. But all right, CA3, what do you think about Obi Toppin as a prospect, and as a prospect for the Pistons? What do you think he can bring to the Pistons?
I think Obi Toppin is a solid player. I've seen him play a few times. he's a really great offensive player. He can stretch the floor. He has very great athleticism. He really has it all when it comes offensively. But when it comes to Obi Toppin on the other side of the ball on defense, I don't think he don't really play really much defense. And I think we kind of need more. I mean, and with this team, we have a lot of power forwards, that aren't really the greatest on the defensive side, but they're really good on the offensive side. I mean, I don't really think he would fit with this team because I feel like we have a lot of players that can do similar things that Obi Toppin can. And especially if we want to keep Christian Wood, I don't think that this would be a smart draft pick, but it doesn't take away from the player he is because he's a really good player. I just don't think he would really fit with this team.
Okay, so I'm gonna read some comments. Piston Talk says Obi Toppin reminds me of Amari Stoudemire. Yes, to me, he reminds me exactly of Amari Stoudemire, but just a little bit new age, and because he can shoot. He definitely reminds me of Amari. Derek Barnes says his Toppin handle is good enough to play small forward. Yeah, he's a tweener, so I really don't know if he's gonna be a small forward or power forward. Yeah, I got to see how the NBA game adapts to him. And then B-Ball Grashy says Obi Toppin ability to cherry pick shows he has some talent at reading the game a step or two ahead, which is something hard to teach. Well, one of Obi Toppin's greatest abilities is he's actually a very, very underrated passer and has very nice vision and is a very good playmaker for the things that he's been doing. Well, I think about Obi Toppin as a prospect. I think he's a great prospect. Clearly a top 4 talent in his draft. And the reason why you don't want to have him, Sekou, and Christian Wood. Like, even if you were to put together a package to and move Blake off the team, you don't want 3 guys that can play power forward. Even though I feel Sekou is a small forward and whatever, you don't want 3 guys that can play power forward like that. And then you still got guys like Lewis King coming off the bench and things of that nature, and other tweeners that we can add to the roster, like guys like Tony Snell. So when I'm looking at this guy is a complete baller. He's an offensive machine, can shoot, can score, extremely athletic. I'm not gonna lie. A part of me is very interested in having him be the guy that we selected because I think his star potential and his prospect as a prospect is really high. I mean, I know he's an older player, but I think he could be an all-star in his first couple years. And I think he's gonna hit the ground running. He's like a better version of Kyle Kuzma because Kyle Kuzma doesn't have the vision or the jump shot. And I think he's even more athletic. So, like I said, a better version of Kuzma is what he looks like, around the same age as Kuz was, but I think he's better than him. But his defense is not good at all. Like, he suck at defense, and that's not something that I'm actually excited about, bringing a guy to the team that don't play defense, especially when you're not a point guard and you're a guy that we're going to need to guard people because you would get a lot of minutes. But so it is what it is. But I think Obi Toppin is a grade A prospect. And I think even in the last couple drafts, he would have been a top 10 draft pick because he's that good. And when you got a talent like him, you just really don't want to miss it. Like, if LaMelo's not there and if Killian Hayes is not there and you don't want to go Wiseman, I'm taking Obi Toppin. I might take Obi Toppin before I take Wiseman. And I know people love Christian Wood, but you just got to think smart. And you got to think, you can't play favorites sometimes. No one wants Christian Wood to not be on this team. But if you draft that guy, he's gonna have to not be on this team unless I don't know what you could do. How could you have all them forwards on the team? We're gonna look like the Knicks from last year. It's just not something that's gonna work out. But we might not even get Obi Toppin at all. It's something that's still up in the air. But we're gonna go to you, Drew. What do you think about Obi Toppin as a prospect and a guy for the Pistons?
As a prospect, man, he stands out. He's a guy that people who look at analytics are going to absolutely love because offensively he can do it all. I think he needs to be more consistent with his jump shot. It's going to come in time, but for being a rookie, his offensive game is really, really good. He's still got some stuff he needs to work on, like consistency. His defense is a little bit subpar, but I think over time, all that's going to get better. And he is a human highlight, Leo, man. I mean, you looked at Christian Wood. I really look at him as Christian Wood because they play really similar. Both are super athletic, just like can dunk on over anybody, man. So, I mean, that's something that you want. You want someone who's going to be fun to watch. It's what star players do. Star players are fun to watch. And again, I don't know how good he could be. Obviously, I think he'll need a point guard here. But looking at the Pistons want to get young. Pistons want to run in transition, get their shooters and Luke Kennard and Mihailuk on the perimeter, and have people like Christian Wood and Sekou trailing on the fast break to get at some open dunks. He would fit perfectly what they're trying to do there. They're still missing a point guard. But Obi Toppin, I would not be mad if the Pistons went that way. A lot of people say that you would have to move Christian Wood. I don't know if you would have to move Christian Wood or not because we don't know how good Toppin's going to be in the NBA. But another possibility would be moving Blake. You move Blake, get another mid to late first round pick for Blake if you could get that, and get a point guard, and then it would be a steal. If you get 2 players out of this draft from drafting him, that'd be great. I don't have a problem with Toppin. I just don't know where the Pistons are ranking him on their draft board. Certainly, if he's the best player available, the Pistons can't pass on him. This guy, he's going to be good. What is he, 22, 21 right now? He's a little bit more. He's a little bit more experienced in the college format than the rest of these fellas. So I don't have a problem with Toppin. I like Toppin. He'd give me a bunch of nicknames to call him: Obi-Wan Kenobi, Obi Trice. All these nicknames we can come up with him. The cherry on Toppin. I mean, I'm coming up with names left and right for him. So I would love it for that fact because I love giving players nicknames. And again, I want to get somebody in here who can perform these highlight plays. I mean, this dude is throwing down windmill dunks, like not George Blaha windmill dunks, like actual windmill dunks between the legs, 360s, not just on like layup lines, but in actual games. Like this guy can fly, he floats. I'm gonna go ahead and say he's gonna be in the dunk contest if he wins it. I don't know, but pairing him up with a player like Sekou, where you got 2 forwards right there who can just jump out the gym, it's something that you kind of look for. I see a lot of people also compare him to Blake Griffin. Probably coming out, they're pretty similar, but he doesn't have the passing vision as Blake. Blake's gotten better over time. I don't think he's as athletic as Blake was.
Might have a better passing vision than Blake if we talking about coming out of college.
Maybe. I don't know. It's a tough comparison. I don't really like comparing players like that because he's different. He's a different kind of built. Like Blake and him are built differently. I don't know. I still, at the end of the day, I like Toppin. If the Pistons draft him, it's kind of like you said, we'll have 25 power forwards, but at the end of the day, if he's the best player available, work it out later. You can trade somebody. You can manage to work it out because I think Sekou can move to the 3. So, I mean, that kind of opens up a little bit, but I think the Pistons will have to cross that line when it gets there.
So, I know you mentioned Blake Griffin. So you would rather get rid of Blake. I mean, I don't got no issues with that, but you'd rather trade Blake and then have a Christian Wood, Obi Toppin, Sekou, Luke Kennard, Derrick Rose lineup or something like that?
Well, my whole scenario for that was if you trade Blake, you could probably get a first round for him. And again, I don't know who would want that, but if you trade Blake for like a 15th pick back, you can probably go ahead and draft a point guard there and get a young point guard to run with him. Again, I don't know what's going to be available at that. That might be a draft day move. I don't know. It's just something to kind of think about. Again, I don't know if that's something the Pistons are actually wanting to do. It's just something that could be a possibility, no matter how slim it could be.
Yeah, I just think if we draft him, it's gonna cause a lot of issues because Wood is a tweener, so he can play center, but he's not a center. Like he has to play power forward sometimes. And I think Obi Toppin, Wood average 13 and 6. I think Obi is gonna have that or better his rookie season. I really do. No matter what team he's on, as long as he's healthy. So it's just it'll cause a lot of problems and issues, but we saving the best for last, man. We got Bravo with the ultimate draft breakdown on Obi Toppin, man. Let's go. What do you think of him as a prospect, and what do you think of him for the Pistons?
So I'm going to share the screen with you guys also about Obi Toppin in here. So Obi Toppin measures 6'9". He's 215 pounds. He's 22-year-old. He just turned 22 in March, and he's a really solid scorer. He scores 22 points in the league on average. So he's really massive scorer already for the Florida team. He rebounds 8.6, is averaging 2.5 assists and close to blocks 1.4 and steal 1.4. He's not much of a great defender. Cons, in my opinion, I'm going to go with the right here first. Field goal, he's averaging 63% field goal range, which is great. His most field goal comes from dunks and from posts. and he is also scoring a 39%. Really interesting. He improved some dramatically this last year from the 3-point range to 39%. I think he improved from 20s to something in the 39% right now, and he's projected around 35% in the NBA. I think he's a good, really 3-point shooter. He's as good as Christian Wood. Not people would not really. I think he's probably good for Christian Wood is probably a better shooter than him, but he might be as good as Christian Wood. I'm gonna go with the pros and cons. It's not the. I should fix that. The pros. He really has a guy with elite athleticism. He might be the most athletic power forward of this current NBA draft. I know the most athletic guy is probably Anthony Edwards, but this guy is like the most athletic at his power position, power forward. He's explosive athlete. That's what I love about this guy. He's explosive. He goes and junks and dunks it immediately with just like Drew is exactly describing, behind the back, under the knee, whatever. He all kind of dunks. I don't know what kind of things he could do with dunking on the basket.
Yeah, Obi Toppin has a 70% conversion rate from 2-point. So yeah, he's a highlight reel.
Yeah, he's a versatile player. He has a really nice shooting, like JMO said, and passing. He's a nice playmaker. He's an underrated really playmaker. He's very efficient as a player. And in terms of the cons, the only thing I really don't like about him is his age. He's 22, like I mentioned that before in my previous talk about him. The only thing is negative for him is the age. He's 22. He's already there, and you gotta expect that he's gonna be his best couple of years. Start hitting the ceiling in the next couple of 2 to 3 years, maybe. In terms of the also bad things about him is defensive IQ. You cannot put him. I've seen him. You cannot put Obi Toppin as small forward. I want to answer one of the comments. He cannot play small forward because he lacks lateral quickness. He cannot move laterally. Comparing to other small forward like Isaac Okoro, he's an amazing defender at the small forward. This guy is not a good defender at the small forward. He's not even a great defender at the power forward. He can block. He can he can steal, but he's not really a great defensive IQ. His length is relatively small, also for a 6'9", but I think it doesn't really impact his cons because he's like an explosive athlete. He can jump and he can rebound. He's averaging nice rebound, 8.6. Comparison, I've seen a lot of people comparing him to Amari Stoudemire, which is a nice comparison, but he's a better shooter than Stoudemire. He's closer to me than to Kenyon Martin. Maybe he's close to Sean Marion. I think Sean Marion is a better player.
I would agree with Sean Marion comparison because Sean Marion can play defense. He don't play defense.
Yeah, I don't think he's probably close to Sean Marion. But for me, I think Obi Toppin, with the best situation in the draft, if he lands with the best situation for himself, let's say if he lands on a team that like really like him as in his position, if he really gets successful in the draft himself, not the team, with the best situation, he might be a candidate for Rookie of the Year. Actually, he's a really good player. He is probably he is the most probably experienced player out of this draft, out of those current top 10, because he's 22 and he's going to make an impact. I think he's going to be probably an all-star in the coming years. It might be a multi-year all-star too. I think he's an exciting player. He is going to excite the fans too. He is going to bring fans to the arena. I think he's a really nice player. But for me, for the Pistons draft, I would be conservative about him. I would definitely pick him if I'm like 6, 7, and we got a chance to draft him. Even I might consider him at 5. But we need like more needs. We need a point guard, in my opinion. So that's why I keep saying that. So yes, he's a really great player, and that's my breakdown for Obi Toppin.
Okay. We got some people in the chat that says Cooper says 22 is not old. All players used to play 3 to 4 years in college in the past. I think his age means he's more mature and can contribute right away. Yeah, age only matters with certain players because, like I said, I can name Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, Donovan Mitchell, even Kuzma. It's been guys that have stayed in college longer and turned out to be very solid NBA players. And I think Obi is definitely one of those guys. He just has developed his game. I think, like I said, rookie season, I can see him averaging 16, 15 or better, like easily, especially if he's on a bad team. Like he could be, I agree with Bravo. He definitely could win Rookie of the Year because he's going to be a highlight reel. So he'll be very successful in that area. I think the Amari Stoudemire comparison, just of a better shooter, just a tad bit more accurate. But Sekou got next has to leave us. So say what you want to the people. Let's get your final thoughts.
Well,
I guess he left. So he said his computer was gonna die. Like this happened to me the last show. he said the computer was gonna die, and it died. So so that it's all good. It's all good, man. Now we got people in the chat discussing Sekou being a small forward. Y'all know on this show, on Above the Rim, it's Free Smoke Saturday. Y'all already know that we all want Sekou to be a small forward. Like, of course, that's exactly what we want. But all right, guys, everybody got what they want to say on Obi Toppin. We can move on.
yeah.
Yeah, I just want to say I don't really hate the guy because he's 22. I think it's just a little bit of an old age for him, but I think we should definitely consider him if he's there and we're like 6 or 7 or even 5. But I think we need to. This is a draft we need to hit on a point guard. This is the best draft in terms of point guards. Not the best. This is one of the most drafts that has a lot of point guards we can choose from. And I think we got a chance at Killian Hayes and let's say in the Melo Ball, and even we can draft like Tyrese Halliburton. I don't know. I would probably go with a guy like Obi over Halliburton for sure. But I would love to get like LaMelo or Killian Hayes. That's my goal in this draft.
Yeah, if it's not LaMelo, Killian, or Anthony Edwards, I want Obi Toppin. I want him over Cole Anthony. I want him over Halliburton. To me, I think it's only 2 point guards in this draft. No offense to Cole. Look, I think Cole Anthony is going to be a good scorer in this league. But I don't know how good of a player he'll be. But I think he'll be able to, from day one, he'll be able to score. He'll always be able to do that. But I think it's a 2 point guard thing. It's Melo and Killian. Everybody else, Halliburton, like I'm just not high on this guy at all. Because of his shot. Like I'm just not that high on Halliburton. I think he looks like a role player to me. Or like just like a mid-tier level starter. He doesn't look like he's gonna be an all-star ever in his career. Now I could be extremely wrong, and he could be a baller. Maybe I'll be wrong, but Cole Anthony maybe. But after Hayes and LaMelo, like it ain't no guards in this draft that's really worth talking about. If we talking about a real point guard, that's why I'm considering Obi Toppin and what he can bring. Because like I said, if Christian Wood ended up not being on this team and you gave Obi Toppin 25 minutes plus a night, he's gonna give you those same numbers, that 13 and 6 or whatever. He you can't tell me he's not gonna give you those same numbers with touches. He's just too athletic and good of a player. So I'm not gonna get mad at drafting a guy that I know is gonna be an all-star as long as health pans out for this guy. But we just have to see what goes on with that. But speaking of the draft and things that have been going on, the Golden State Warriors came out with a report that said they are more interested in Tyrese Halliburton and Killian Hayes over LaMelo Ball. Now, whether this is true or not, how does this affect the Pistons? And what do you think about it? All right, we're going to start with you, CA3.
This is great for the Pistons, man. Draft that role player. We need that. We need that superstar. We need LaMelo Ball. We need. I mean, I would love for Killian Hayes to fall, but I mean, of course, I would rather have LaMelo Ball if he falls to us. So, I mean, to me, it's great for us if they feel the need to draft Tyrese Halliburton, the safe pick instead of the better pick in LaMelo Ball. So,
now, do you believe the story?
I don't believe it though. I mean, I hope it's true, but I doubt it. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me.
I think Kevin is he saying Toppin over Edwards?
Whoa, calm down.
No way.
No,
Edwards is a guard, man. Like, look, even if we was to play hypotheticals and say both of these guys are gonna be superstars, you still take Edwards. He's a guard. You know what I'm saying? All right, PD, what do you think about Golden State with their little report about wanting Halliburton and Killian Hayes over LaMelo Ball? What do you think that means for the Pistons, whether this is true or not? Because they could be playing a smokescreen game, and maybe they're a team we have to trade with to get some things popping.
I mean, I don't really honestly have that much. I don't have the most thoughts on it. I mean, how will it affect? I mean, assuming they want LaMelo Ball, I mean, if it will affect them. I mean, if they got do what they got to do to get it. I mean, I don't know, honestly. I don't really. I don't. really have a strong opinion about this particular topic. But I mean, I guess it'll affect the Pistons, assuming they want LaMelo Ball, and that will give them. Wait, so they're saying that the Warriors will want the other guys over LaMelo Ball is what the
Yeah, and the reason is whether it's true or not, they're still playing mind games, and you know that can lead into a whole bunch of situations, which is of course coming up.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, honestly, I'm not sure exactly. I mean, it'll affect. I mean, honestly, I can't really say how it'll affect them at this immediate moment. I'm sorry, I don't have a good answer for this particular question, honestly.
Hey man, no problem, man. We gonna move on to you, Drew. What do you think?
I don't know if I buy the story. I just don't know why Golden State would go after a point guard. Obviously, they got if not the top 3 point guard in the league in Steph Curry. I just don't see how they could pass on a Wiseman or an Obi Toppin. I think those 2 players fit with what they need and can be plugged in right away and be day one starters on a championship contending team. You draft someone, even if it is LaMelo, Melo is not starting over Steph Curry. He's not starting over Klay Thompson. You can put him at the small forward over at Wiggins, but is that really what you want to do? I mean, offensively, that's going to be great.
You really can't.
I just don't see how they fit. And even if you took Halliburton or Killian Hayes, again, they're not starting over Steph Curry. They'd be fantastic off the bench, but they got Poole over there. Like, I don't know if that's necessarily what they need. They need a big man, to be honest with you. They don't really have a good center on their team. I don't see how they pass on Wiseman. But again, smoke and mirrors is a big part of front offices and getting trades done. I don't know how committed the Warriors are to having this top 3 pick, if not the number 1 pick. They might be trying to move down and get more assets in return because they're not going to be sitting pretty in terms of salary cap. I mean, Steph, Klay, and Draymond all got max, and I'm pretty sure Andrew Wiggins is pretty close to a max, if not has a max. So they're going to be in deep doo-doo in terms of money. They might be trying to move down to get some of that stuff cleared up because they want to get Giannis when Giannis is a free agent. And right now they don't have enough money to even try to do that right now. So, hey, I'm cool with it either way. If they want to trade us the pick so that way we can get Melo, I'm cool with it. If they're going to pass on Melo so that way we can take Melo later, I am perfectly cool with it. Warriors, it's your funeral, man. I will take Melo any way you want to give me him.
Benjamin Foe says Steph Curry is going on 33 next season. Y'all think he playing forever? I don't think Steph is 33.
Well, even if he is,
he's 30.
KD is like 31, and Steph. I know Steph is at least 1 year younger than KD. So yeah, look.
Well, even if he is that old, man, he doesn't rely on his body to be effective. Like, he's a shooter. Like, he doesn't need to be getting past everybody.
Ability to run around. So as long as he can run around, he'll be all right.
He's gonna be 33. He's gonna be 33 next season.
With Steph, you said what?
So Steph Curry's gonna be 33 next season. I looked it up.
What?
Yep.
Yeah, he's 32 this year. He's in March 32. I just looked him up too.
Wow. Okay, but regardless of that, I don't think this should be the year they looking to replace him. Maybe a couple of years later down the road, but I really don't think they get LaMelo. Like maybe Anthony Edwards, maybe a big man like you were saying earlier, but this leads me to believe that Golden State is playing smoke screens and they're playing games. And we were talking about this earlier off air. We were talking about the fact that, I mean, Bravo was just talking about how Golden State is probably going to get the 5th overall pick and Minnesota will probably be 1. I'm just going to take that as a prediction. So when we're right, we can brag about it. My thing is, if Golden State is number 1 or number 3, or we're like at 4 and they're above us, if we know that they don't want Melo and they're telling the truth, we can move up. Even if they're lying, we can still move up and try to get LaMelo. So it's just good to know information, and it's good to know that the smoke screens that people are putting out, because you have to understand it. But okay, Bravo, what do you think about Golden State talking about they want Halliburton or Hayes over LaMelo Ball?
I believe it. I think, in my opinion, the best fit for the Golden State Warriors is Tyrese Halliburton. There's a reason for that, because he is really the best shooter out of this point guards in the draft. Number 1, he made the best threes. He's making a shooting incredible 40% or something from the 3, and he passes the ball, and he is a really good defender. and he plays the nice on an excellent team. So if he really he's a high IQ player, he would fit perfect in the Golden State Warriors, which is a team who do not require a heavy point guard play. They do not really require like a guy who makes a lot of passes. They're a team who passes the ball all the time. Their whole team makes the assist. They're their best team in terms of the assist in the NBA, as far as I know, or one of the best team. So they don't really need like a passing point guard number one. They probably need the point guard who is a smart. So if you think about it, Tyrese Halliburton is the best uh, uh, pickup for them, and I think he is really going to be probably the best pickup for them. Uh, uh, the guy with that Drew is all you're talking about, James Wiseman. He's a really nice pick, but I even think that the Golden State Warriors are probably going to go with Oneko Okanu over Wiseman, because the problem with Wiseman, he is not really has many videos. So that's why teams are really reluctant about picking up Wiseman. So that's a different conversation, I know. But I think, in my opinion, Golden State Warriors are probably going to pick Tyrese Halliburton if they get a chance. Even if they get number one or number two pick, they're probably going to trade down. They want to get the maximum assets and trade to fifth spot with us, or maybe with the New York Knicks. Maybe I don't know which team can trade down with the Golden State Warriors, and then end up drafting Tyrese Halliburton. I think it's a really good draft for them. I think it matches their team and their chemistry, and I think he is going to be a good fit. It's just a matter of when they're going to really lead in this lottery draft pick. So we'll see.
I do think that Halliburton fits them perfectly, like you were saying, but I think Wiseman or Obi Toppin would fit better. I mean, like, look, if I know Wiseman don't only have a certain amount of videos, but it don't matter. He going to Golden State, so he don't have to be a superstar year one. This is Golden State. We're talking about Golden State can turn him into whatever he's supposed to be with all that athleticism and all that talent. You see what I'm saying? They don't really have to worry about is he worth it or not. They can just make him a great player. Golden State has been great at developing players, and they've done very well. Look at Kevon Looney, guy that they developed. Jordan Bell. Look at Pascal, who was a rookie, and Jordan Poole. They'll develop James Wiseman whatever he's supposed to be. I have no doubt in my mind about that, but I do think him or Obi Toppin will be the guys that we select. But all right, guys, we got a couple more topics, and then we're going to get into questions. So you guys start dropping your questions in there now. So let me know any question that you have about the Pistons, about the NBA, about any of our players, about the GM, about our season now being officially over. But all right, so we're going to go with this question, and it's a hilarious one that's sure to get the chat excited. And if you haven't liked the video, make sure you like the video. Sure to get the chat excited. Should the Pistons reconsider Thon Maker or not? Should we re-sign Thon Maker? We're going to start with you, Drew.
Why do you got to throw me on the spot on the rip on this one, bro? I don't – look.
I did this on purpose, man. Drinking Drew Wilder before you answer if you need to, man. But it's all good.
I was mid-sip when you passed it to me because I knew something was coming. Look, I'm not a big Thon Maker fan. I had high hopes for him when we traded him. Anytime you trade a young talent like Stanley who didn't pan out, anything is an improvement. Even though I'm hard on Thon Maker, he's not the worst player in the league. He's just clumsy. He's really uncoordinated. And he might click it. I don't know. He's still super young. I think he's only 22 or 23 right now still. He's still super young. That's the crazy thing. He's been in the league for 10 years, it feels like. He's only 22 or 23. So he's at the age of Obi Toppin right now. So that's something that we have to consider. And if we do sign him, it's not going to be a lot of money. It'll be a cheap deal, something that will be very tradable if it doesn't pan out. And again, the market for big man, there's a couple good centers out there. There's about 4 or 5 good centers out there that I would be okay signing with. But outside of that, you're starting to get into this, is he better than Thon Maker? Is Thon Maker better than him territory? I really haven't looked at power forwards yet. We really don't need to add another power forward right now anyway. So I don't think that's going to be considered come free agency. So I don't see why not. It's not going to hurt anything. It's really not going to change much. When Christian Wood really started to ball with Henson being out there, Thon barely played. He's not bad to be the third string center. And I think when we get back here in December, we'll really have to start talking about if we should bring back Henson or not. Because I like Henson. I was happy we actually got Henson. I like Henson. He's a quality backup center. He's nothing special, but he's okay, you know. I think that training camp is going to be something to look at because Dante Hall is going to want some minutes. He's going to be trying to fight to make the team. Thon Maker's going to be fighting for minutes. He's going to be fighting to make the team. And if we bring back Henson, he's going to be fighting and clawing for minutes. And as it stands right now, with if we say we re-sign Christian Wood, I think really he's going to start at the 5 and Blake will be at the 4. And it's going to be for the backups to fight for their minutes. So to end this, I don't really care if we do, if we don't. It's not really going to affect me or the team that much. But it'll be a cheap deal. And again, if it doesn't pan out, you can always trade them because it's going to be a cheap deal.
All right, guys, make sure you guys drop the question in the chat. I'll be sure to get to each and every one of your questions. Drew, I'm gonna have to disagree. I think John Henson was trash, and Don Maker was balling when Andre left. Man, he was giving you like a good 13 a night. Man,
he balled out for 2 damn games, and then went back to being Thon Maker. Like I'll admit,
that's because he went back to being on the bench. Because when he was playing 30 minutes, he was giving you 13 points, man.
And he was still getting cooked on defense, though, man. I've never seen someone be 7 foot tall.
To fix that. He can fix one side of the ball. I'm just saying, when he stopped being Thon Maker, that's when his minutes got taken away again. But when he had minutes, he was out there being better than John Henson.
Not by much, though.
John Henson can't shoot. John Henson wasn't doing that.
I didn't say John Henson was the second coming of Jesus. I just said he was solid. Okay, that's all I said.
No,
he's trash. He's okay.
Let's not overtalk. But he was trash, man. What was you saying?
The first game when he came, he was balling that first game. I'm not gonna lie.
Man, he had like 8 points, bro. He didn't do nothing, dog. Like, come on, dog. I don't even know if he had 8 points. He might have had 4 points. Like, he didn't do nothing, man.
He had a good game, though. I remember his first game. But
okay, Mr. Thin Misser, as Nomus likes to call him. Shout out to your boy Nomus J. His link is in the description. Make sure you guys subscribe to his channel and all of the DSA members in the description. And make sure you guys drop your questions for the panel that we will answer very, very soon. All right, PD Sports, what do you think about Thon Maker? Should we consider bringing him back?
Nah, dude, I think we're good. I'm just going to keep it nice and short. We're good.
All right, hey, man.
Good.
What do you think about this, Bravo? This was Bravo's question, man.
I think it's one of those situations you have to reconsider because there's not a lot of good players out there that we really want to bring. And he is part of the team. He's been part of the team. And his qualifying offer, like Pistons stock saying, is only $4.8 million. We can actually even refuse the qualifying offer, and sign him again for a minimum. I don't know if we could do that. But Thon Maker is a really low maintenance guy. He's not going to require a lot of things. And we saw him balling after Dre left, but I don't know if that's really a flash or just a temporary thing. I think he's still young. He's I don't know how old is he. He's 32. I don't know, but I think
Thon Maker is still 22, bro. This dude is like he's been playing in the league since he was 14, man. Like.
Yeah, if I'm the Piston GM, I'd bring him back because of the fact that he's still young and he's still okay. As you give him another chance for another year, I would not bring John Henson back because he's a 29. He's a veteran. I don't know how much benefit he would be for our team. Our team is going to be a rebuilding team. I would rather have Thon, who brings energy, who has a really great ethics in the gym workout. So he's really like a great guy to have at the locker room. He's a nice dude. I don't know why you guys don't like him. I mean, Henson is also a nice backup center, but they're both probably cheap. I don't think they would cost a lot, both at a minimum deal. That's what I would consider. If I was to pick one of them, I'd probably pick Thon Maker because I like him. He can block at least, and he's part of our team for the past couple of years. Why not bring him back, give him another season?
Bravo, can I ask you a question real quick?
Yes.
Dude,
Did you watch Thon Maker play?
Yeah, he's terrible in some games. I saw him.
How tall would you say Thon Maker is?
7'1", maybe.
Okay. He averaged 2.8 rebounds last year, Bravo. Anyone who is over 6'10" should have no less than 7 rebounds a game. I have never seen someone that tall.
How many minutes did he play, though?
I don't care. He
Go look,
averaged.
no, man.
All
Go
right,
look
all
at
right.
how many minutes.
Last year he played 60 games, averaged 13 minutes per game. That's not a whole lot of time. But I have never seen somebody 7 foot
And he's been
tall
playing with Andre Drummond his
have
whole
the
career.
rebound. Now this is when Andre's off the court. Have the rebound in his hands and just fumble it. Like you had it, dude. Like what are you like? He's just so clumsy. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like it's not that hard to grab a rebound, dude. And dude, he's like Adrian Peterson in the playoffs, dude. He just fumbles it everywhere, dude. It's crazy. I've never seen anything like it before.
Let me tell you something.
Well, that's because Thon Maker has unusually small hands for a 7-footer. This is not something that's funny, but it's known that his hands are like extremely like small for a guy that tall. So he probably got like hands of like a 6-foot man or something. I don't know.
On his career, he averages 2.8. Last year, when he got 20 minutes per game, he only averaged 3.7 rebounds. Trash.
Hey man, not every 7-footer is a rebounder. You gotta remember that. But
I
think that not every 7-footer is a rebounder. I think that you can bring Thon Maker back. I mean, over John Henson, of course. I don't want to be the team. Now, look, I probably low key been the hardest on Thon. I don't want to be the team to give up on Thon Maker and then he all of a sudden get good and we look like stupid. So if it's a roster spot left. And if he can outplay Dante Hall and Giants, if he can outplay the other guys, then we can bring him back. But I really want to go get a center in free agency. That's something that I'm really about doing because Thon Maker it's so many holes in this game, and he just hasn't shown more that like he can't play more than 13 minutes a game. Like I mean, but if he do play, big minutes, he'll give you 13 points, but he might give up 13 points along with it. But I would definitely rather have him over some of the other guys, but it's just about whoever wins that final spot. That'll be the guy that'll win the job. That's what I think about it for the most part. But
he needs to add some muscle too. Why is when this off? Like he needs to go down to Burger King, McDonald's, Popeyes, and just get the biggest burger, chicken meal, biscuits, whatever you want to get him. He needs to get some weight out of him, bro. He looks like he only weighs like 120 pounds for being 7 foot tall.
Hey, him and BI need to get weight. Some people just can't do it, man. John Jones question says, would you amnesty Blake Griffin? I think a couple shows ago we talked about amnesty Blake Griffin. It's not something that I would consider doing because you got to get some assets from Blake. You want him to play and be healthy, and you want to move him. You don't want to just cut him and just be like, and then not get no assets when you gave up a first-round pick and Tobias Harris, and that first-round pick is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So you gave up Shai, and then you gave up Shea, whatever. You gave up Shea, and you gave up Tobias Harris and Boban and Avery Bradley, and you gonna get nothing back in return if you did that. So I would not be thinking about amnesty Blake Griffin. Anybody got any thoughts on that?
I didn't talk about the Thon Maker thing situation.
Yeah, go for it.
When it comes to Thon Maker, man, I don't. It's like I don't really know what to expect from Thon Maker. Like, it like sometimes I see some. It's like sometimes I see some bright spots, and sometimes like he just looks like a bull in the china shop out there. But it's just like. I've seen him before. That's the thing about Thon Maker, but I mean, I just don't think we should just keep Thon Maker because he hasn't shown us that he can improve yet. So I mean, I just think we might as well just get rid of him because it doesn't seem like he's improving.
Okay. Everybody in the chat, make sure you drop your questions that you have from the panel. Any questions about the NBA in general or the Pistons, make sure you drop those questions. We will be getting to them now. So this is the time we need you to drop all the questions that you've been asking us the entire show. We know y'all do it during the entire show, but then when we ask for them, y'all be ghosts, man. Don't be ghost out here, man. Don't do us like that, man. But okay, so looking at this, man, Thon Maker, look, man, I could care less if he really on the team, but I just don't want to be the team that gives up on him and then he turns good because that's what usually happens to the Pistons. We're that type of team that something like that always happens to, but it's something that you just got to look at, man. B-Ball Graduate said if Thon Maker were European, the same people that hate him would love him. I don't even know.
Dude, Milwaukee traded him for Stanley Johnson. Just let that sink in for a minute, man.
I feel like Stanley Johnson was better right now. If you look at it retrospectively.
At least Stanley went out there and
don't
played
know.
defense. Thon gets
Yeah.
a block here and there every once in a
They're both
while.
pretty bad. They're both pretty bad.
Yeah.
But
Well, to make it
There's-
worse, Milwaukee originally traded for Stanley Johnson, and that was okayed. And then like an hour later, they got the guy from Chicago that had the goofy beard, who was a really good 3-point shooter, who's not even in the league anymore, to make it worse. So originally they traded him for Stanley, who's on Toronto right now, not playing at all. And then they sent him to where did they? No, they sent him to New Orleans, and then they took the dude from New Orleans with the goofy beard, who is now no longer in the league, for Thon Maker. Just let that sink in for a minute. Both those guys, Stanley and the guy they traded for, really don't play in the NBA right now. Just let that sink in.
well, I mean, you act like they traded him for a star. We know they traded a bum for a bum. We already knew that. That was something that we knew. But make sure you guys drop your questions in the chat. I got one more question for the panel, and then we're gonna wrap it up. And it's just a simple question that I know we've all been thinking about and asking. But we're gonna start with you, PD Sports. Do you think the NBA champion this year should have an asterisk?
No, well, I guess not. No, I don't think it should. You're playing for a championship. They're all competing. No, I personally, I don't. A championship is a championship. I get for the most part. I mean, I guess unless it's like that gold medal thing where Team Germany defeated Team Canada for the gold medal, but the NHL players weren't even playing in that. So I don't know. I guess if you want to, I don't look at it like that though. I mean, Giannis is going to be playing, right? LeBron's going to be playing. I don't think this year should have an asterisk. No, I can't get on that train. I don't think.
All right. What about you, CA3? Do you think this year's NBA champion should have an asterisk?
No. I mean, it's like, it's really the same thing. They're going for a championship. I mean, the majority. Pretty much the regular season was pretty much. Majority of it was played already, so I don't really see how you would put an asterisk on it. Everybody's had a time to rest and and get better. So I don't really see how you could really put an asterisk on a championship. Where really everything's the same and teams have had more time to get healthy. So I don't really see how you can put asterisks on it.
All right, we got a question. And then we'll get to you, Bravo and Drew. How do y'all feel about making a run for Josh Jackson? He's still young, plus we could probably get him for cheap. This is the thing. As a player, cool, but having him come back to Detroit where he's from after he already had problems away from home, I don't know if that'd be a good thing for him, to be honest with you. I'm sure he still has a lot of people here in the city, and I don't know how well that'll work out, but if he sticks his act, we do need small forwards. He fits in that role. I don't really know how good he can be, but it would be something that I'm considering. Drew, what do you think about that?
Anyone can turn their life around. Obviously, when you have problems where you're going to be coming back to, it's going to be a huge question mark if they're going to go back to that or stay away from it. I don't know because, again, I don't know what he's done off the court to change that. It's a gamble. But, if he stays away from that, he's a good player and would fit really, really well.
Okay, so what do you think about the NBA championship? Should it be asterisk?
I don't see why it would be. Like, the championship team's not going to have an advantage over somebody. Everyone's had the exact same time off. They're all going to have the same time to get ready. They're all going to be ready come July, is it? Man, that still seems like forever away. So okay. I don't see why it's going to have an asterisk just because they delayed it a little bit. Like, it doesn't make any sense why they would. It's not like anyone has anything over the other team that they'll beat. Like, no one's gained anything. No one has lost anything except for the teams trying to tank. So I don't see why they would. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, it shouldn't be an asterisk, but I can consider why some people would feel that way because if they change the play-in tournament, or it's a play-in tournament for the 8 seeds, but that wouldn't really matter. But I don't think it should be an asterisk. I think you just let the players play. Everybody is gonna get the same amount of time to train after this thing that's happened. But Bravo, do you think it should be an asterisk?
So what does this asterisk in this concept mean?
Basically, if they win the championship this year, it don't really count. Basically, like Golden State's candy pop rings with the Kevin Durant super team. A lot of people don't count those as much as other championships. You know what I'm saying?
I think we could put an asterisk because of the fact this is going to be with no fans, and fans may have an impact on the team. Maybe also, like I think you could consider asterisks because this is a COVID-19 pandemic, and they wanted it during the COVID-19. That's another reason to look at it. You could put an asterisk because of changing a little bit of the plan, but I don't think this should be a reason. The main reason is probably no fans.
Okay, so what do you think about bringing Josh Jackson into the fold?
I would love him, and I think he's a nice asset to have. I think he would. He's one of those players they gave up on the league, and I think we need guys like that. He's a top 4th pick, I believe, in 2017. Why not give him a chance? I'd bring him in here, but if you bring him here, he might take over Sekou Doumbouya's position. So I'd be conservative. But I think he's still a good asset. I think he is a nice asset to have.
Yeah, I'm not worried about him taking Sekou's spot. I'm sorry. I welcome him. I'm not worried about that at all. Sekou, his stealing is just different. He different from other players. Okay, so we got another question from Quillfish. What do you call it? From Quillfish. Make sure you guys drop all your questions that you have for us in the chat. He says, what is the playoff format? Is it a 7-game series or tournament style? Well, playoff format is just the regular playoffs, the top 8 seeds. The difference is the 8th seed is going to be a play-in tournament with the 4 teams in the West for the 8th seed, and Washington, which is the ninth, because it's only 9 teams in the East, and I think like 12 teams in the West or something like that, or more teams like that. Yes. But Washington will be the 9th seed, would be facing the 8th seed. What you saying?
No, I was saying that there's 13 teams in the West and 9 teams in the East.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that's the way that they're going to do it. So it's not a play-in for the playoff. It's just really a play-in for the 8th seed. And we don't know if they're going to keep the conferences the same or go 1 through 16. That might switch some things up. But that's just something that we're going to have to figure out. But CA3, what do you think about getting Josh Jackson?
Well, I mean, Josh Jackson, I think he's a solid player. I mean, he was really solid in college. I remember his freshman year. But like you said, James, I don't think it would be a good idea to bring him back to Detroit. Because he's already done some stupid things off the court already. I think he's a solid player. I just think I think the reason why his career hasn't been as good as it should be is just because of off the court issues, and and just not having the greatest opportunities in the world because of those issues. But I think he could really be a solid role player. But I just don't know about him coming back to Detroit personally. I don't think that'd be the greatest idea in the world.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about what we do when he's here. But, B-Ball Graduate says, why are y'all talking like there's an official asterisk? Man, this is not something that we actually believe it should be an asterisk. But a lot of people, they like to hate. So whoever the champion be, they going to hate on them and they going to put an asterisk because it's of COVID. And there is no fans. And I do think home court advantage definitely matters to a certain extent. It definitely matters, but that's not going to be a reason to put an asterisk when you have all of the teams in the same situation. He says, should the Pistons work on a deal to get Udoka Azubuike somehow? I don't even know who that is. Bravo, you know who that is?
Yeah, he's a center. He's a 2nd-round pick. Yeah. I would love him as a 2nd-round pick, but I don't know if we really have multiple spots we can pick from 2nd round. So good center, 2nd-round pick, maybe at the top 30th pick, 7-foot giant. He can block. I don't know if we can get a deal for him. I don't really care so much about him so far.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Before we wrap up, if you got any more questions for us on the panel,
one more comment about that. One more comment about that asterisk. Can you imagine if a player end up with getting a coronavirus? What happens? So that could be a problem. That's definitely going to be an asterisk.
Yeah, but there's lots of the teams you can put asterisks next to because someone couldn't play or someone was out for the series and stuff like that. Like there's a surprising.
Yeah, but see, it's gonna depend on who gets sick, not how many. Like LeBron gets sick, the whole NBA shutting down. But let's say Avery Bradley get COVID, don't nobody care. You know what I'm saying? And like, y'all know it's like late Giannis get COVID. They shutting it down. Kawhi get COVID. They shutting it down. Like it's over. Tape it up, box it, throw it away, and then they probably just restart the new season. But they've already taken measures and they've already had plans to deal with things like this. And it's a reason why I started all the way in July because they got to wait for people to get back to work. They got to wait for it's just a lot of things that they have to wait for and prepare to get everything set up. But with all that saying, I don't think it should be asterisk just because I think the basketball it's going to be good and everyone gets their time to train. But this is the time where we're going to wrap it up with the final thoughts. PD, any final thoughts for this evening?
Thanks for coming out as always, everybody. We truly do appreciate it. It sounds cliche and it sounds boring, but man, we really do appreciate it. I never really truly know how to put into words how grateful we are for all of you people who always tune in to us, even when our team is struggling and when we're about to go through a rebuild. Y'all are still tuning in, and we really do appreciate it. So shout out to y'all. And that's pretty much all I can say. Thank you all for tuning in.
All right, no problem. CA3, final thoughts for today.
It was nice talking about the Pistons, my favorite team, with you guys. I appreciate all you guys, supporting this channel. And I'm just grateful for you guys a lot. I can't really explain it, but it was nice talking with you guys. And I'll catch you guys next week.
All right, no problem. As you know, it's Free Smoke Saturday. As usual, make sure you check the link in the description to subscribe to all of the members of the panel and all of the other members in the DSA. This is DSA Above the Rim Free Smoke Saturday, y'all. Bravo. Final thoughts for today, man.
Good show. It was nice talking to everyone again. I hope the Pistons hire the right candidate, and I do hope GM, I'm talking about the general manager, and I do hope, just like one of the Twitter says, people on the Twitter said, Pistons are doing extensive search for GM, and I hope they really do interview multiple candidates so that we can choose the right one, because the Pistons do need a man with a vision, and we need to start from really a good general manager so we can build our team in the right way. And it was overall a good show. Thank you for everyone for listening, and thank you for the panel here also for showing up. Hopefully, we're looking forward for next week.
All right, no doubt. Detroit Drew, final thoughts on this Free Smoke Saturday, man.
Well, we officially have some dates. You can bet your bottom dollar, even though it's not the Pistons, I'm going to be going live to watch some NBA basketball because it's back. And also we have our dates for the draft lottery, which Above the Rim will be going live during that right here on JMO's channel. And then both rounds of the draft will be on my channel. That will be in October. Those are the dates. The lottery was in August. Draft will be in October. So just so you can mark that on your calendars and get that ready. We're going to start plugging that so everyone knows where we're at on that. But yeah, thanks to everyone in the chat, man. Great conversations today. Great involvement from you, the people. It's always great to have you guys involved in the show. But that's all I got for you guys. Hopefully you guys have a good weekend. Stay safe out there. And that's all I got.
We come here every day to talk sports, to talk Pistons, every Free Smoke Saturday to discuss with y'all. I gotta say, y'all had a lot of conversations and disagreements in the chat. That's what we love to see. Y'all lighting the chat on fire, man. A lot of you guys showed up and supported us today. All I want to say is the Pistons need to get the right GM. I hope that we can trade with Golden State if we don't end up with the right type of pick. But it's a lot of things that we got to do. If you haven't seen my video on LaMelo, Killian Hayes, make sure you check that out. Make sure you check out Drew's channel. He's pumping out that content every week.
Yes, sir.
Sports Talk has some new videos so you can get to know who he is, man. We just love you guys, and thank you for all of the support, man. As always, this is DSA Above the Rim. And the last thing I'm going to say is the Luke Kennard slander will not be tolerated. The Christian Wood slander will not be tolerated. The Sekou slander will not be tolerated. Have a good day, y'all.